Hello, you. It is me. And I listened more to the interview there was with Ken's mom, Raina. And I would have to say her explanation of things was far clearer than anything anyone else has said in the families. Put it that way. She made it sound a lot more plausible that it actually happened. She seemed to be forthright with... Now, I don't know to trust her. I can only go by what she was saying, which sounded valid. Was that Aurora was born small, around 5 pounds or so. She was born early, but apparently there's shots that you can get as a pregnant mom to develop the lungs of the baby more rapidly in case there is a early birth. I've never heard of anything like that. I'm going to look that up, but apparently that is legitimate. And so I'm starting to swing on the side of, yeah, maybe there is an Aurora, or Ken's mother is just a really good liar. You never know in these situations because they all seem to be pretty messed up. But, okay, let's say based on what she said that Aurora is alive and well and healthy and tiny. Now, at 5 pounds, would a child be allowed out of the hospital? I mean, that's pretty small. I would think that they would want to, I guess they would check vitals and all that anyway, for a newborn baby. But would a child that small be let out of the hospital? I don't know. Now, Raina expressed a more human side of Gypsy, if it's true, about her being worried about the baby, wanting the baby to be okay, etc., etc. That sounds far more legit than anything Ken or Gypsy have said, which I guess is good. But I still have this little thing in the back of my head that states that why did Gypsy get this experience? Gypsy murdered her mother, blamed it on Nick, who is a mentally challenged man, and she gets to have a child. She planned a murder for at least 2.5 years. So it was premeditated. And she gets out in 8.5 years and now has a child. Does this bother anybody else? Because it really bothers me. Now again, this could all be bullshit. I don't know Raina. The way that she talked about things sounded a little more grounded. It sounded a little more real. But why does Gypsy, after committing such a heinous crime, and it was heinous, I won't look at the actual shots, but I did see the drawn out diagram versions. Holy crap. That was enough for my imagination to run crazy. It was a horrific crime, a horrific murder. And now she's allowed to have a child. She was allowed after 8.5 years to get out and go live her life and have a child. It kind of makes me sick. It reminds me of people who do murders and get off on a technicality and then murder more people. You know what I mean? It kind of makes me sick that she could get out of prison after what she's done and have a child. Those are joys and special memories for people who don't murder other people. Does anyone feel this way? I mean, I had some really nasty thoughts, like, now she's known the joy of carrying a child, having a child, now let's rip it away from her and put her back in prison. Then she would actually experience the harm of what she's done, because she's not remorseful at all. That's the other thing that really disturbs me. She's not remorseful. She, with her little stupid baby voice, got away with actual murder, not acting badly. She's been acting badly the past year that she's been set free. But I'm not talking about acting badly. I'm talking about an actual horrendous crime that she committed. And she gets to live a life and have a child and live with Ken or whatever the hell they're doing. I don't give a shit. But why? She never got punished in my eyes. I mean, yes, she was in prison for 8.5 years. That's not enough. So where's the punishment? No wonder she is so entitled. No wonder she thinks she owns the world and she can do anything she wants. This, I can't help but wonder, will this be her downfall? Because she has gotten away with so much, because she thinks that she can be the entitled little bitchy brat that she is and get whatever she wants. What kind of crimes may she commit further on down the line? I mean, in my opinion, she already committed fraud by trying to get oh God, I'm sorry, I'm so frustrated, to get a loan to go to school when she can absolutely pay for it herself. That's not what student loans are for. They're not for people who can afford it. They're for people who can't, to allow them the ability to get a step up in life and do great things, or, hopefully do great things. That's what it was there for. It's not there for rich bitches who can afford to pay their own way to borrow money, and who knows if she'll pay it back. What is her deal? But that's what I'm saying. She thinks that she can get away with anything. And I still am so concerned for that child. Now, if that child was smaller, it does make sense that the child would continue to go to the pediatrician once a week, just to check up, make sure that the baby continues to be healthy, I guess. I don't know. I don't have a lot of experience with having babies except for the one that I had, and from stories from other mothers, this is definitely out of my realm of knowledge. I'm looking things up as they go, just to see, oh, is that legit? Oh, okay, that is. Is that legit? Oh, okay, that can happen. So I'm just kind of learning as I go, as well as a lot of people are. But the nerve of her, it makes me angry that she's allowed to live a life, that she's allowed to move on with her life, go wherever she wants to go, have a fucking child that now I feel is in danger every single moment of the day. If Gypsy has a bad moment and smacks her kid, or who knows? Who knows what she's capable of? We already know she's capable of killing. We already know that. How was she allowed to be put into a position where she can put a child in danger? I don't care if it's her own child. Whoever's child is in her pathway should not be there. She should be out of the community, out of people's way, and in prison where she belongs. How she got out, it just sickens me. It just sickens me. Her talking about her hair, her makeup, all the little trips that her and Ken went on. It makes me ill. She is a criminal of the worst kind. She murdered her mother in cold blood because she felt that was the only way that she could move on. She's sick. She's sick, she's demented, and I don't want anyone to forget how sick this individual is. She masks well. She was taught how to mask well. As she said herself, to lie without shame. And she just keeps on doing it. And we just keep on correcting her all the way. But I am so concerned, not just for the baby, but definitely the baby. The baby comes first. But what about Ken? What if Ken pisses her off? What if she feels like the only way that she can have a peaceful life is with him out of the way? This is how she thinks. This is how she thought with her mother. Her mother wasn't abusing her. Her mother was ill. She spoiled her. And her mother was incredibly ill, according to Gypsy's recollection herself, that she had a whole list of issues going on. And Gypsy didn't want to wait for her to die, so she made a rush job out of it. And she's allowed to have a child. I just can't. I don't even know how to put the words together for that. It looks like she may have actually had a child. Among all the baloney that we keep hearing and the changing bumps and all the garbage. If Raina, Ken's mother, is to be believed, she sounded fairly believable, so there could indeed be an Aurora. But once again, why is she allowed to have a child? What is CPS actually involved or not? Because I keep seeing conflicting things. And because she's a convicted murderer, she should have CPS on her ass 24 hours a day. Are they? It doesn't seem like it. How is she getting away with this? And what will she do next? This just frustrates the hell out of me. This is, all the policies that changed in the 4 years that are now being changed back, where people can steal up to $950 and it's only a misdemeanor. That's crazy. And so what happens? Mobs of people stealing all the time, everywhere, to the point where big places like big drugstores and things had to close down. One closed 16 stores because there was so much thievery. They couldn't make any money. They were losing so much money every day. I'm glad that we're starting to correct that. But we haven't corrected this. Gypsy seems like she has a child. Why is she allowed to have a child? Why is she allowed to be free? Poor Nick. He's just taking it because that's what he promised he'd do for her. And he's loyal. She is nothing. She's not loyal. She doesn't care. And to put a child, a newborn child, in the hands of a criminal mind who's been convicted, it just, I'm sorry, but she should not have been free. She should have stayed for life. She should not have been allowed to experience these beautiful human things, because what she did was so inhuman. That's why criminals like her stay in jail for 35 years to life. Or just plain life. Boom. You take one, you serve for life. I don't know. I'm beside myself. I just, there's a lot of people around Gypsy right now. And that's a good thing, because it'll make sure that that baby comes to no harm. If there's a baby, it seems more likely than not that there is, in fact, maybe a baby. But it just seems so unfair that a disgusting degenerate, and let's be straightforward, she is a degenerate. Not just what she did for Ryan, but she seemed to go through men like water. She's a disgusting, degenerate, hypersexualized person who has already said that when she has a child and it turns, 13, that she wants it to have the first experience with the father. That's what she talked about with Nick. She's a disgusting, degenerate murderer. There's nothing nice to say about her. She might be displaying, masking a few things that seem normal. She's acting the way she thinks she's supposed to act. But she certainly dropped not just Ryan, but Pixie. I think that's the dog's name. She dropped them, forgot about them in a second, and went to Ken. So what if Ken doesn't live up to her standards? And what if Aurora turns out to be a handful? How is she going to get rid of them? You think she would? These are all things that are very concerning. Anyway, I just had to speak my mind on that, because it kind of makes me sick that this is even happening, that this was allowed to happen. And I worry for the future what Gypsy will do and who she's going to harm. Because I guarantee you, she will most likely harm someone. Because she hasn't learned a lesson. She hasn't learned anything. She's not remorseful. She doesn't care. The only thing she's learned is she can lie, cheat, and steal her way out of any situation. That's what she's learned. Not a great lesson, that's for sure. Anyway, that's all I got to say.